but I kind of want to sit back. That sun is so bright. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Sleep Repeat Studios. Today we are going to be doing an Oscar recap. Now, real fast, I just am going to hurry and share this link across all the social medias. Probably take about 1 to 2 minutes, but I will continue to talk. Man, let me just give a quick... let me give my thought process on the actual show of the Oscars. I thought it was a pretty good show. Thought it was fun. Eminem coming out was hilarious. Just because Scorsese's, his face. I love whenever Marty Scorsese does anything. And he really proved to himself to be a very big, how do you say it? A softie last night, which I was a big fan of. Big fan. Let's see. You hate to see it, really. You truly do. Let's see. Okay. Probably cut this out later. Okay. All right. Great radio. That was my bad. I should have been better prepared. Today is my first time doing what I want to do every day, which is come on here and talk to you guys for a matter of, I don't know about necessarily hours, but like an hour a day. Come talk to you guys about movies, movie news, all of the above. Now, if one person watches, if two people watch, if 30,000 million people watch, either way, I want to be here talking about movies every day. It's what I love to do, so that is just what I am going to do. But no, the Oscars, they were great. It was a lot of fun just watching the show in general. It just seemed like it was a really, it kind of felt like it was just stringed together. I'm not going to lie to you. It didn't feel like, I think hosts truly do actually help the Oscars more than they hurt them. And I think a host definitely could have helped this year. Real fast, I'm so sorry. Wow. No one's in here. I'm just going to hurry and go. I'm going to go let the blinds down because it's so bright. 1 second. You know what they call that? They call that a growing pain. Because as I grow, I don't do stupid stuff like that. Look at that. You can actually see my forehead. Very good. Okay, 1 second. One last post, and then we are going off to the races. Oh, another viewer. Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just sharing something that should have been shared before I started a live video. But, alright, we're good to go. So let's talk about the Oscars. Yeah, really good show. I will say, when Eminem did show up, I was very hyped. I realized exactly how wide of a human being I am. Because when he showed up, I was hyped. My heart started racing. You know, I was just like, oh, this guy. He's the he's the GOAT. I don't know if he's the GOAT. He's fine. He's great. He's very white, but he is without a doubt one of my favorite rappers. And I was just like, I don't know why he's here. It doesn't make much sense to me. But hey, I'm here for it. Marty Scorsese was definitely not there for it. He did not seem to be enjoying it. But no, let's get started on the winners, because I want to go over a bunch of these, and I don't want, since this is our first time doing this morning stream sort of thing, I kind of want to go over them. Not fast. I want to give everyone their due, but I want to talk about them for sure. First things first, we have Best International Feature Film, which is Parasite 1, which I don't think anyone thought that it was going to be any different. I think everyone was kind of pretty certain of that one thing, that Parasite was going to win Best International Feature Film. And then, obviously, it won a whole lot more than that, which I'm not going to talk too much on Parasite now, because there is a lot to talk about as this goes on. So let's go ahead and let's move on. But congrats to Parasite for that Best International Feature Film win. So, Best Animated Feature Film. Noah and I we kind of talked about this one last night. It ended up being Toy Story 4, which I didn't think was going to win. I actually thought Klaus was going to win. I thought it had the steam, the momentum to get the job done. But Toy Story 4, I told you, never count out Pixar. Pixar movies, people love their Pixar. It's just how the world works, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, I wish Frozen 2 would have done something more, I wish it could have had some some more love. I cry every time I watch Frozen 2. I cry like a little bitch. It's just the thing. Apparently Jake Foster is watching the live chat. Salute to my friend Jake Foster. Great dude over there. I don't know where he is, but wherever he is, great dude. So let's go. Best Achievement in Visual Effects. I actually found this one to be quite interesting. It was 1917, Avengers Endgame, Star Wars Episode 9, The Irishman, and The Lion King. And 1917 ended up winning, which was the last film I actually expected to win this award. But I guess I'm excited for them. I thought it was, truthfully, I was like, okay, I could see The Irishman winning. I could see Lion King winning. I could see Avengers Endgame winning. Hell, I could even see Star Wars Episode 9 winning, even though I think Star Wars Episode 9 is terrible. That's right. It's terrible. Okay. But 1917 won, which is, I thought 1917 was going to sweep up all the awards. It didn't do a lot. No, it didn't do anything. Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. Best Achievement. Okay, I'm moving on, because here's the thing. There's a few categories that South Orange just doesn't want to talk about, which I guess you can be mad if you want to. I don't care. Okay, we'll go all the way up here. Best Achievement in Cinematography. Our boy Roger Deakins won for 1917. Very well deserved. There was no one else in this category that I felt did even close to the work that Roger Deakins did. 1917 is, in my opinion, a cinematic marvel. The way he put the shots together, the whole one take, not feeling like a gimmick, but rather feeling like it fits into that story with Sam's direction, Sam Mendes, that is. I'm not on a first name basis with him. That would be very cool, though. Someone make that happen if you could. But no, 1917, very well deserved. Very happy for that. Best Adapted Screenplay. We had Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, The Irishman, and The Two Popes. I had predicted yesterday that Jojo Rabbit was going to win, and it did. You're welcome. I didn't do too bad with my predictions for the Oscars. I remember for the Globes, the Golden Globes, I went like 3 for 12, and I was so embarrassed and I was so sad, and I just cried all night in my bedroom, just alone, very sad. But hey, now I celebrated with myself alone, uh, very happy. No, but Jojo Rabbit definitely deserving. The more I watch that movie, the more I am amazed at what Taika Waititi did, making a film about a little boy whose imaginary friend is Hitler, and it's a comedy. Like, who expects that to work? And he makes it work, and it's sweet, and it's a kind film, and I really, really, really love Jojo Rabbit. Now, next category was Best Original Screenplay, which we had Parasite, 1917, Knives Out, Marriage Story, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I actually yesterday finally came to the conclusion during our pre-show for the Oscars. I said, I think Parasite's gonna win this one. I think if you had asked me like a week ago, I would have said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I felt at the end that Parasite was definitely gonna run away with it. And what do you know? Seth was right again. But no, Parasite. I mean, I'm going to save truly like Parasite, I'm going to speak on a lot at the end of the video when we talk about Best Picture. But Parasite is such a special movie. It's such a brilliant movie. That's one word I really think, we got to use for this movie is just pure brilliance, pure genius. Bong Joon-ho, just so good. I know a lot of you have probably either seen Snowpiercer or Oakjaw. If you haven't had a chance to see Parasite, I heavily recommend it. It's a very, very good film. And Best Achievement in Directing, again, Bong Joon-ho comes through and wins for Parasite. And his speech, I want to talk about his speech here. He gives props to first Scorsese. He has everyone give Scorsese a standing ovation, which was something special. I think Scorsese's the greatest filmmaker of all time. So to see that respect, to see that love, definitely touched my heart, and that was great. And then he, shouted out Quentin. He said before anyone in the U.S. had ever seen my movies, Quentin would always put them on his list and would get them, seen out here, which is so awesome to see. It kind of reminded me that I kind of get upset sometimes when I see people talking crap on different filmmakers on social media and creating these like fake feuds. And then at the end of the day, a lot of these film people, they all just like each other because they all get it. And I was like, I mean, there's just a bunch of trolls on the internet here, but I mean, all these people, they have a good time. They have fun. They respect each other's movies. They love each other's movies. They're not out here judging, they're judging their movies, but they're not out here doing other crass stuff like that. And Bong Joon-ho really just, his speech was really good. It definitely had me a bit teary-eyed, I'd say. Next one was best performance by an actress in a supporting role. We have Laura Dern, Florence Pugh, Kathy Bates, Margot Robbie, and Scarlett Johansson. Laura Dern did win. Again, I did predict this one. I felt like the acting category this year was kind of a runaway for everyone who won. I think that Laura Dern definitely, I would have liked to see Florence Pugh win, but she's so new into her career that I think she'll eventually get one here in the next couple of years. But Laura Dern, what she does in Marriage Story, she is honestly, crazily enough, I think she's like the center of that story. She's the reason that story works, even though she isn't like the center of that story. Obviously, the story itself is about Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson's characters. But Laura Dern gives a tour de force performance, I'd say. Really commands the screen every time she's on. And Margot Robbie in Bombshell gave a fantastic performance. And the Oscars, they show obviously scenes from all the performances, and they showed Margot Robbie's scene. They showed the best scene in the movie. They showed, in my opinion, the scene why she got nominated for an Oscar, which is a scene when she's crying outside of a restaurant. It's fantastic. It is, strangely enough, when I take notes at movies, when that scene happened, I wrote down, I said Margot Robbie, Oscar nominee, bombshell, because it was it's something you never saw her do before. It's something that really, put her, in my opinion, on that pedestal again. It's kind of like I compare it to the scene in I, Tonya when she's looking directly she's looking at the mirror and she smiles and she's crying, and it's such a heartbreaking scene, and so is the one in Bombshell. But I do want to talk about Scarlett Johansson also in Jojo Rabbit. I do think she is actually the center of that movie. I know it's about Jojo, obviously, and I know it's about, Thomasin McKenzie's character. I'm forgetting her name. And obviously, it's a little bit about Hitler. But with that being said, Scarlett Johansson is the only thing that makes me feel safe when I'm watching that movie. She is that motherly character that I feel like she could just, I feel like she's just wrapping me in a warm blanket the entire movie. And when she's not on screen, I don't feel like things are okay. But when she is, I always feel like things are going to be okay. It's kind of that effect of when I'm with my parents, like I never feel like anything bad can happen when I'm with my parents. Obviously stuff can, but when I'm not with my parents, it's just a kind of a cloth taken down. But no, I also want to give love to Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell. She's really good in that movie. If it wasn't for the couple in front of me and my good boy Jake, my good friend Jake, my good friend Jake, they were kind of strung out, unfortunately, and they were being very, very loud, and it kind of ruined 95% of the movie. But Kathy Bates was definitely great in Richard Jewell. But congrats, Laura Dern. Next, we have Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role. First, we have Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, who won. Very happy for Brad Pitt, first of all. Al Pacino, Anthony Hopkins, Joe Pesci, and Tom Hanks were all also nominated. Now, I can't actually speak on Tom Hanks' performance because I haven't seen that movie yet. Sorry. I've seen all the other movies for the actors and actresses nominated, but I haven't seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Probably going to check it out today, actually. But Al Pacino and Joe Pesci both are great in The Irishman, and both could have won, and I would have been very pleased with that. Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes also gives a great performance. The movie is very talky, and he definitely is good at that. I mean, sheesh. But no, moving on. We only have a few more here, actually. So probably be done a little bit earlier than expected, but we'll see how long I talk about Parasite, because I can go on about that movie. Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role. We have Renee Zellweger for Judy, who won. Very happy for her. Charlize Theron for Bombshell was nominated. Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. Saoirse Ronan for Little Women. And Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. Renee, I knew she was going to win this award from the moment I saw Judy. I just think she is incredible in that movie. She does something that we've never seen her do before. It's just quite incredible. Truly, it's another, what I've said a few times tonight, is a tour de force performance. Also, Charlize Theron in Bombshell is very good, but I do think her playing Megyn Kelly, and it's not necessarily what the Oscar voters probably are looking for here. Obviously, Judy Garland, being good at being Judy Garland is going to kind of get you more props than being good at being Megyn Kelly. Harriet, I haven't seen Harriet, so that's another one that I can't speak on. But Little Women, Saoirse Ronan's so good in that movie. She gives a performance that I've never seen her give before, which was a lot of fun to see, and I have a lot of respect for. And Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, she's fine. She's good. She's great even, but she's not Oscar worthy. Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role. We have Joaquin Phoenix, who won for The Joker last night, and Adam Driver was nominated, Antonio Banderas, Jonathan Pryce, and Leo DiCaprio. And yeah, again, we knew Joaquin was going to win. He hadn't lost an award this entire award season, basically. So there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to win this award. I do think that he does deserve it. I think that performance is great. I have thought about it a lot. I do personally think that Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, I think he gave a better performance than Joaquin Phoenix did at the end of the day. And I know all the Joker stands might come at me for that, but I mean, Uncut Gems, it was completely snubbed out of everything, and that makes me so sad. But Joaquin Phoenix was deserving, and his speech was really good. I did like his speech. If you'll give me 1 second, I'm going to hurry and take a quick sip of this tasty beverage. Brief intermission. Da, da, da. That orange juice is not good. I think that orange juice is old. Can orange juice go bad? Well, okay. Okay then. Let's push on through. Okay. So we have Best Picture. I'm going to first of all go over all the nominees. I'm going to actually go by the way I ranked them. Now, if one of them is out of order and I kind of forget my ranking on some of them, please forgive me. But first, we have Joker, which was nominated and I think is a fairly good movie, but I don't think it's as great as everyone has kind of put it up to be. Next, we have Ford versus Ferrari. Again, a very fun movie, a very honestly well-made movie. I just don't think it's an Oscar winner, an Oscar Best Picture winner. It's an Oscar Technical Award winner. I think that Ford versus Ferrari technically is one of the most impressive movies besides 1917 that we've seen this year, for sure. Next, we have, I think Jojo Rabbit was ranked next on my list. Jojo Rabbit, I've sang its praises kind of throughout this video, but Jojo Rabbit is a beautiful film that shouldn't work by any stretch of the imagination. A film about a young boy with a imaginary friend of, being Hitler, and full on comedy with drama elements throughout. Like, that shouldn't work. There's no way that should have worked, but Taika Waititi, had a steady hand, a caring hand, and he made it happen, which I'm very happy about. Movie's great. Next, we have Marriage Story. Marriage Story is a beautiful film about a divorce. Adam Driver gives a great performance, a heartbreaking performance. Scarlett Johansson is good. Laura Dern gives a great performance. The direction is insane, but the writing is the best part. Obviously, that script is from top to bottom a airtight script that is beautifully written. Next, let's see. Little Women. Little Women's so good. I really love Little Women. It's one of my favorites of last year. I watched it the other day again and cried my eyes out all over again. Stuff hits hard, man. That's like a movie that I went into and I was like, it's going to be fine. Like, I'm going to like it. I'm really going to like it because Greta Gerwig is awesome. By the end, tears were falling. The guy next to me was crying too. And he was kind of talking shit at the beginning of the movie. And this is the first time I saw it. He was like, look at this guy, look at this guy. And then at the end, he was crying. Dumb bitch. No, he's fine. Next, The Irishman. Irishman is a great film by the master, the best filmmaker of all time, Martin Scorsese, with great performances from De Niro, all across the board. De Niro, Pesci, Pacino, Ray Romano, Harvey Keitel. Everyone in that movie is great. Now, let's see. We also have, I'm going out of order here, but 1917, which is, like I've said, it's a cinematic marvel. How they pulled it off is something I will never understand, but I will always be in awe of and I will always respect, because it's just one of those things that is absolutely fantastic and it's a wonderful thing. Now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of the most fun theater experiences I had in the past year. It's just a really, really freaking good movie. It's a lot of fun. Tarantino's stamp is all over it. Lots of feet in the film, if you're into that. Go watch that movie if you haven't. The last 20 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was on a plane a couple of weeks ago, flying back to Utah from San Antonio, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was an option on the flight, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. It's something I can I've seen it like 8, 9, 10 times at this point. Like, I can sit back, put it on, and I don't have to worry about like paying too much attention. Like, I can fall asleep and it can work out for me. And the last like 25 minutes happens in the movie, and I forgot that I'm extremely fricked up in the head, like very messed up, and all this violence starts happening, and I just start laughing so hard. It's not that I think violence is funny, but Tarantino's violence in that movie is hilarious, and I'm laughing. And little did I know, the guy next to me was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2 with his girlfriend, and they were at the very end of the movie, and I looked over, and they were watching, and he just looked at me like, and he knew, and he just looked at me, and he shook his head, and I said, hey, to each his own. I mean, you do you. I can't deter you from whether you think this shit's funny or not. I think it's hilarious personally. I think it's the funniest part of that movie is when all the stuff happens at the end. Watch that movie if you haven't. It's a good time. Best Picture winner of the year, Parasite. I hope I mentioned all the other ones. If I didn't, oh well. Parasite. What can I say about Parasite that hasn't been said? It is a masterpiece. Bong Joon-ho has made a film that will, in my opinion, be timeless. Because it's a movie that doesn't have a time restraint. It could have worked back in 1920. It could have worked in 1950. It could have worked in 1980. It could have worked in 2000. It could have worked in 2010. And boy, does it work in 2019 when it was made, obviously. It's just such an incredible cinematic feat. I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said? It's witty, it's smart, the editing is great. As a film, technically, I think it's a masterpiece. As a film, story-wise, I think it's a masterpiece. As a film in total, I think it's a masterpiece. And lately I used to throw that word away like it was garbage. I was like, oh, masterpiece here, masterpiece there, masterpiece. But not anymore. I just think that, I think that not many movies are actually masterpieces, but this one is. I'm like certain of that. Like, I've seen it like 6 times at this point. I think I've really solidified in my mind like my feelings on it. I think the performances are great. I think the comedy, because it lays in comedy with the drama so well, it makes it feel just so good. Oh, guys, go see Parasite. And I know, like, for me too, I've always had kind of a hard time with foreign films just because of the subtitle thing. Like, I'll admit it. I'm not proud of it. But I know that's how a lot of people are. And I think if we can all just, like, go see this movie. This movie, I didn't even notice the subtitles throughout it. It felt like it was just a movie. It felt like it was just a movie I was watching. I was enthralled in. It was exciting from start to finish. And it was truly the best film of 2019. My favorite movie is still Uncut Gems, but what can you say? There will be a Parasite review coming out, like a formal review on the channel. I think I'm going to be doing that today. I just need to finish getting that edited up and then released. We also have Let's Talk About Cult Film with Noah and Seth. coming out today, episode 2. We talked about Escape from New York, so check that out. Click the subscribe button if you have not had a chance. Like this video. I think we'll probably end here. This is my first morning show. 30 minutes feels pretty good. I'm really happy we were able to talk about these Best Picture nominees. And thank all of you for watching, for listening to my voice, to being here with me. And I really appreciate y'all. And until next time, freak. I like saying this live. It feels cool. But peace out from the Film Sleep Repeat Studios, guys. Thanks.